Well, welcome to episode 18 of Lakeshore Christian Church's Midweek podcast. I'm Pastor Randy Cordell, and we're coming to you live from our studio at our Antioch campus here in beautiful Nashville, Tennessee. Each Wednesday, we come live at noon. We're running a little bit late today because of some technical difficulties, but we hope you're connecting and joining in with us here. Each week on the podcast, we plan to talk about all things Lakeshore. On a regular basis, we'll interview special guests, occasionally even have a guest host. I want to encourage you to subscribe if you haven't already done so. Become a regular listener. Invite your friends to join us as well. It's a great way for us to connect midweek here at Lakeshore. If you do miss it live, you can always go back and catch it later. Each episode is archived on our YouTube channel and other popular podcast platforms. Well, my guest today is Jessica Layman, our Director of Preschool Ministries here at our Antioch campus. Welcome, Jessica.
Thank you. This is fun.
Well, I want to thank you for taking some time with us today. I always like it when we have some time for our listeners to get to know our guest better. So I'd like to hear more about your background, where you grew up, the schools you went to, those kinds of things. Tell us about your family as well.
My name is Jessica Layman. I grew up in Cookeville, Tennessee. It's kind of on the way from here to Knoxville. I have a sister. Growing up, we were very close. We're still very close. I have 3 kids. Eleanor is a senior. Callie is a freshman. And Charlie Layman is in 2nd grade this year. Yeah. And my husband, Robbie, he keeps it all together.
Well, he tries.
He tries. We're a handful. We are.
Yeah. I love how you call Charlie Layman. I think that's a unique kind of way to set him apart a little bit.
He is. Yeah. He's the 4th. So he's Robert Charles Layman the 4th. And for whatever reason, we just have always called him Charlie Layman. And it just kind of cracks me up.
Yeah. He's a fun kid. I love it when you have him around the office here. And he often will come visit me at my office too, which I love. That's great. Well, I know that we always like to hear more about how people get connected to Lakeshore as well. So growing up in Cookeville, how did you end up in this area and then end up connecting to Lakeshore? Connect the dots for us there.
Well, we moved here in 2003, or I did, to open a Belk store in Springfield, and then moved to Antioch, got married 2005, moved to Antioch 2007. That year we had, I got pregnant with Callie, had her in 2008. We got connected with Lakeshore because of Parents Stay Out. I saw the sign, signed her up when she was 2 years old, and she was in the program for her whole preschool. Yeah. And then I started subbing for them after a couple of years. And Judy Wallen, we were having lunch in the break room. And she said, "Hey, where do you go to church?" And I was going to church in Cookeville with my parents a lot. Just hadn't found anything in Nashville yet. Right. Not being from here, I just kind of would go back home with them. And I got connected right away, and it was great having someone invite me and, to be able to sit with them and know someone, right. Especially not being from the area.
Yeah, we always love that when we have new, a welcome lunch for new people here at Lakeshore. I always ask them how they connected for the first time with our church. And there's a lot of different ways people get connected, and we love, however it happens is great. But almost always there's a person that invited or told them about the church. So that personal connection really is the most effective way to help people get connected.
Yeah, I agree. It's nice to feel, welcomed and appreciated and just like happy that you're here, and we are. We're so happy when people come to visit us every week.
Well, we're happy that you got connected, and that led to, as we had an opening needing someone to work with our children's ministries, you were already subbing with PDO and doing some things like that. We already knew you a good bit and felt like you could be a good fit for that. So how long has it been now that you've been with us on staff?
I worked for the Parents Stay Out program for 4 or 5 years, and then came on staff about 5 years ago in this role. And it's been a blessing, and I love it. Getting to raise my own son in the Parents Stay Out program. And it's just been and sub for them and be connected with the community. And then also the kids I see on Sunday morning, get to see them throughout the week. It's nice.
Yeah, the preschool program is such a vital part of our ministry. Young families with children in that age range, bringing them to church for the first time, dropping them off in a classroom somewhere so that they can be able to go into the worship time as adults. That's a hard transition for a lot of young parents with young children. So if we have some listeners that are thinking about maybe coming for the first time, maybe they've got a preschooler, tell us a little bit about what they could expect if they visit the Antioch campus on a Sunday morning with their preschool children.
Well, they're going to come in and we're going to have them do a little bit of paperwork. We just want to know their names, a little bit about their kids, ages and stuff, make sure there's no allergies. And then we're going to send them in with the volunteers, and we're going to make sure that they make friends. They play, they feel safe, they feel loved, they're learning about Jesus. We're keeping it simple. They get some goldfish, some water. We have a great playground that they all enjoy playing on.
That indoor playground is a huge hit.
It is a huge hit, and
yeah.
I love it. And it's great because it's year-round. We don't have to worry about the weather. And they go all the way up and they come all the way down, and it's great to see them even grow in there to get up to the very top, because that's a big thing. Right. They go in, actually, we have the nursery side. A lot of people don't know we have one side that's just for like baby and toddlers, and then we have the bigger side that's for our bigger kids. And they have a great time in there. They're really learning to crawl and slide. The parents love to come in and watch. We have a little boy named Joel, and he comes in and he slides and he looks so happy, and it's so cute. Yeah. It's great. It really, yeah. I think it shows the parents how much their kids are enjoying church.
Yeah. Parents, they feel better when they know how well cared for their children are, and they feel like they're safe. I know we've got some safety protocol in place to be sure there's good security, and that we could contact the parents if there was a need to get a hold of them. We have a system in place where they get a number when they check their child in, and then that number can come up on a screen there where they know they need to go check on their child.
Your child just needs a little extra support. Right. I really try hard not to put a number up unless I just have to. Yeah. I know that our parents need that hour in the sanctuary to hear the word and be renewed. Yeah. And so I'm blessed. We have some volunteers that just know, like, sometimes the baby's gonna be upset. We're just gonna soothe and rock and give them a snack, do everything we can so that our parents can really get the break that they need. And that's why, volunteering in preschool is so important, because we do want to really support our families, especially with young kids. Everyone knows how hard it is, when the kids are little and sleepless nights, and you need that renewed.
You do. And I love that we've got a great team of volunteers, and they go through background checks and all. That's part of the safety protocols that we do. And then we do the check-in system and keep them protected well. But I know it's near and dear to your heart and for the whole church, for our ministries, that those children feel the love of Jesus. Absolutely. That's their experience. Mm-hmm. They're first getting to know that connection to church, and they feel the love of Jesus in that place.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. And I want them, to know that our volunteers love them. And they're going home and they're praying for them, and they're so excited. They get to know their names, and they have a connection. It's really, if you're not hanging out with little kids or middle school or even high schoolers or elementary kids, I recommend it. There's something to be said about investing in our youth, and that starts, with babies all the way up to the high schoolers. Because I volunteered with Tito in our junior high and senior high, and it's amazing to watch them become their own person with their own ideas. Yeah.
You've been here long enough now. I've seen this. I've been here a long time too. And when you're in a ministry for a long time, you watch the growth and development of those that stick with it and go through the process. And it's fun to see that process as God is transforming their lives and they're becoming who God designed them to be.
Absolutely. It's rewarding. And I love when, like, the elementary kids come and they still give me hugs. They're like, "Hi, Miss Jessica," and I'm like, "Hi, bud. How are you?" And they all really love becoming taller than me. Yeah. Which is not that great of a feat, but it's still a feat for them, and so it's fun. It's great to see them grow and to help be a part
I resemble that remark. I know. Yeah. I get a lot of that too. They like to walk up to me doing this. And say, "I've outgrown you now." So
but can they beat you in arm wrestling?
Not yet.
Not yet.
Yeah, the time's coming, I'm sure. But
one day.
Yeah, I still get challenged a lot with that. Well, it's a joy to see how that program continues to be such a blessing to our families, and we have new families coming regularly. And we want to invite you, if you're considering a visit, you can always check with us ahead of time if you feel the need to, but know that when you come in, you're going to be welcomed. You'll be directed to that check-in desk, and they'll get you all set up right there. So We may have some listeners too, Jessica, that are thinking about possibly a part of our church family already that might think about volunteering. So if they're interested in doing that, I know we can always use more volunteers.
Absolutely.
What would be the process of them? What would be their first best step to take if they're wanting to do that?
If you're at home today and you're led, you can email me, jessical@lakeshorechristian.com, and I will send you a background check. We want to make sure all of our volunteers have a background check just for the safety of our children. And then you let me know how many times you want to serve. It's as simple as that. We have 2 services, first service, second service.
Those are at 9 and 11.
Yeah, 9 and 11.
Right.
And, we have the nursery. We're building back our 2-year-old room. That was something that COVID kind of hindered a little bit because we didn't have a lot of kids in that age group, but now they're grown. So we have some students that are ready to move back in there. So that's opening another classroom. So that would be another volunteer. And then we have our preschoolers. So that's like your 3 and 4-year-olds, not quite in kindergarten yet. So once they go to kindergarten, they go to Mr. Andy.
Yeah.
So they just, as simple as emailing me and getting a background check. And then we'll just go through the training together.
I love that. And I love part of what we do at Lakeshore, and you guys do such a great job with this, is having a growth track for our program where there's uniformity, I should say, to the process of taking them from preschool, from the nursery through preschool and then into kindergarten and grade school.
Right.
You're on the same page. You're on the same track, helping them grow and mature in their walk with Jesus. And then we also coordinate with the Smyrna campus of trying to keep everything lined up together between the campuses as well.
So you could really go to either campus any Sunday and get this, or your child can get the same lesson in preschool and elementary.
Yeah, I
which
love
is
that.
really important. And also too, for like if you have a child that's in preschool and in elementary, you can discuss that together.
Yeah.
And I think that's important. Talk to your kids about what they learned in the Bible, story today. Yeah. You'll be surprised at what they retain.
Yeah.
It's easy to say, are they listening? Like, are they? And then you ask their question and they're like, oh, good job. You knew the answer, yay.
And I want the kids to ask the parents what they learned.
Right. Yes.
Yeah.
No, that's a great, that's a great challenge.
I want to know if they remembered anything about the sermon besides the joke that I told.
The
Right?
joke at the beginning. Yeah.
Right. They usually remember the joke, but yeah. Well, that'll be great to hear as families do that. I love getting that feedback from families as they're sharing with us. Oh, our kids love it back there. I get that feedback so much as a pastor, how much their kids enjoyed their class time back there. Now, I know they'll have some rough days. All kids do. But overall, they just love the program. They do feel loved and cared for. And they're certainly learning a lot. Had some good laughter piped in there. That was good. Speaking of volunteering, we've got an event coming up that has become one of our biggest outreaches for the church called Trunk or Treat.
Yes.
I know a lot of churches do that. We offer it here in the Antioch community and at the Smyrna campus as well. We're going to be doing that on Saturday the 29th from 2 to 4 in the afternoon. To pull that off, we want to connect with as many families in the community as we can. And traditionally, we've had over 1,000 kids come through each year, easily for the last several years. And COVID, of course, put a little change on some of the things we could do before, but now we're getting back to more of a normal trunk or treat, and I expect to have a very big crowd again this year. And we want those families to feel welcome. They're looking for a safe place to come and bring their children to trick or treat and just have fun together. And our volunteers make that possible for that to happen. But it takes a lot of volunteers to pull that off.
It does.
So I know you've always worked very closely, very involved in helping us with organization of Trunk or Treat. So if we've got people interested in helping with that, what are some things they could do? How could they help out with our Trunk or Treat?
It's the best event that we have, and I'm not just saying that because I'm like in charge. But it's a great way to maybe a little bit. It's a great way to connect with our community, and community, especially the Antioch community, is very near and dear to my heart. And it's a great way for us to give back to those families. A lot of these kids live in apartments, or they live in a neighborhood that doesn't have sidewalks. The area, I'm not good with directions, but Antioch side over there, there's no sidewalks, and so it's not safe for kids to walk around like it used to be when we were growing up. And so this is a great way for them to come out, be in a safe environment, see their fellow, people in the community. And it's great because we have people that maybe they don't realize we go to church here until they see us at a booth.
Right.
And so volunteering is easy. There's a couple of different things you can do. You can have a trunk. You can be as outlandish with that trunk or as simple as that trunk as you want to. Yeah. Donate bags of candy in the lobby at each campus. work the line, talking to our parents and everything else. We do still kind of trying to space them out a little bit as best we can. It's not as bad as it was when it was COVID. We were like, okay, 6 feet. We got to keep everybody safe, and we still want to hold the event, but we were really, safety was our number one priority too. But it's great. See, the kids get so excited.
Yeah.
Andy will be dressed up again this year. I'm going to try to find a new costume. Got to step up my game.
There you go.
A little bit.
Yeah.
From the banana. The kids love the banana, but I've done it for a few years now, so it's time to bring in something new. I'm going to try to find something.
Yeah, I'm really struggling with my trunk this year because I try to be so creative every year with that. Yeah. I think I may go with Georgia Bulldogs this year.
I think you should.
Yeah.
I mean, I think that if you didn't, it would be disappointing to some. So
last year, for the first time, I got my wife. We're kind of a house divided with college football. She's a Florida fan. Oh my goodness, pray for her. She's a Florida fan. The rest of the family's Georgia fans, and so we did a half and half house divided trunk last time. And we may pull that off again this year if I can talk her into that. But I love it because I try to do a costume where people could still recognize me.
Right.
As the pastor out there, it's so funny to me how many families will just be going right through the line. All of a sudden they look up and say, that's Pastor Andy, isn't it?
Yes.
And so I get to see a lot of people in the community and connect with them. And I know a lot of our people are doing that. And the more volunteers we can have, the more fun it is, first of all, for the community, but secondly, the more connection we get for our church and our outreach into the community. So,
people don't realize, we have runners for candy. Like, we go through so much candy that we literally, we have a team of volunteers, and BB helps with that. And she takes over the conference room, and we open up all these bags of candy, and we dump them all in, and we run out candy to our trunks because everyone starts with candy. But there's been years we have bought every piece of candy that Kroger had.
Yeah.
And still ran out and had to close the event early. We've made some changes. We have it during the day now. It's a little bit safer for people parking and traffic and stuff like that. We're doing everything we can to keep the community safe and then still have a really great outreach program for them.
Absolutely. Yeah, it is. I think it's changed a little bit doing it earlier because traffic getting in and out and things like that. As when you're having over 1,000 kids here and their cars and parents coming through the parking lot, we wanted to make it as safe as we could. So that's one reason we shifted it to a daytime 2 to 4 event. So if you're listening and you'd like to help out, volunteer, again, you can contact Jessica. We also have it on our website at lakeshorechristian.com. We've got a graphic there for Trunk or Treat that says if you're interested in volunteering, you can click on that, fill out that form, and it'll go to the appropriate people, and they'll be able to follow up with you and get you connected to volunteer there. Well, Jessica, I want to thank you for spending some time with us. It's good for people to get to know you better, and we appreciate all that you do.
Thank you.
We encourage you again to contact her if you're interested in working with our preschool program. Even if you want to serve at the Smyrna campus, she could help you make that connection too.
Absolutely.
So be sure and contact her. Thanks again.
Thanks for having me.
Well, before we go today, I want to update everyone on some exciting activities and programs we've got going on here at Lakeshore. I want to encourage you, if you're not already connected to a life group, life groups meet during the week. They do Bible study together, prayer together. They do fun events together. It's doing life together. That's what a life group is all about. And we want everyone to be connected that wants to be part of a life group. So if you're interested in that, click on that life group graphic on our website, fill out that form, and we'll have someone contact you and help make that connection. Starting the end of October, going in through the month of November, we're going to be doing a church-wide study together, and many of our life groups will be doing the study called The Quest. And we'd love for you to get connected before we start that so we can all be on the same page together with that study. So be sure and either at the kiosk, if you're here on Sundays, the kiosk in the lobby, or on our website, you can connect with the life group there, that form, and let us know. We'll follow up with you. We already mentioned, of course, Trunk or Treat, Saturday, October the 29th from 2 to 4. We've got another event we're going to do again this year that started last year, a BB gun shoot for the guys. It's going to be on November the 12th. They'll have a breakfast at 8 o'clock, and then the shooting will start after that. And you're welcome to bring your sons with you, a father-son kind of fun outing and event. So we'll have registration soon for that. We don't have it set up yet, but I just wanted to go ahead and give you that date so you can mark it on the calendar. That's going to be Saturday, November the 12th. We have an event coming up for our high schoolers, the Tennessee Christian Teen Convention. They usually just call it TCTC. It's at Gatlinburg Convention Center. It's an annual thing. It's going to be January the 6th through the 8th. We have registration up and open for that now. So any high schoolers, if you're interested in attending that, it's a great event. We'll have a group going from Lakeshore, from both of our campuses, and we'd love to get you connected and registered for that so that you can be part of that group that's going and experiencing that convention for youth there. This Sunday, October the 9th, we're going to be continuing our new message series called Bible 101, How to Read and Understand the Bible. Last week we started out, believe it or not, in one sermon I covered 5 books of the Bible, the Pentateuch it's called. And this week we're going to pick up from there in the history of God revealing himself to us through Scripture. And so I want to encourage you to come this week. We're going to be talking about from conquest to captivity, how God's people were led into the promised land, how they rebelled against God and went into captivity, and how God was working the whole time through that, continuing to point the way to the one who was coming, who would liberate us from sin and give us the true freedom that is found only in Christ. So I hope you'll join us this Sunday. We want to encourage you to invite family, friends, neighbors, co-workers, and join us as we continue to connect, grow, and serve here at Lakeshore Christian Church. Thank you for joining us for the podcast today.